Today we're going to be looking at how you calculate the length of a side using the sine ratio. This is revision for what we have already done in class. Obviously you've had a week off for your holidays, I hope it was good, and now we're going to get back into it. So I'll go over this nice and slowly. Hopefully you can pick it up and remember what we did. So first and foremost, we'll remind ourselves of what the sine ratio is. So sine, remember it gets abbreviated, it's actually SINE. We call it sine, we don't call it sin. So sine x is the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So in our question, we've got the triangle. We know that the angle in here is 51, that's 24, and that's called x. The same as always, with trig questions, we always start by labelling the sides. So if I'm at 51, there's opposite. Hypotenuse is always opposite the right angle box. And the last one is the adjacent. We are always going to use sine in this exercise. So I'm going to write down the rule. I'm then going to fill in the information that I've got. So I want the 51, the x and the 24 to come over here and go into the right place. Remember, the angle always goes there. So I'll get sine 51 degrees equals the opposite side, which is called x, divided by the hypotenuse, which is 24. I now want to get the x by itself, so I take the 24, I move it to the other side, and it will sit in there and it will multiply the sine 51. Remember, when you take something from one side to the other, it does the opposite. This is dividing on the right, it's going to be multiplying on the left. Okay, now this is when, if you're using a scientific calculator, you can just type this in a winner. If you are using your phone, what we're actually going to have to do in the phone is we're going to have to do 51 sine, and then we're going to times that by 24. Okay, so on my phone, if I switch it round, I want to do 51, then hit sine, and then I'm going to multiply that by the 24. And that comes in at 18.65. If you round it properly, 18.7. Be careful with the rounding. Some of you are making the odd mistake with your rounding. Okay, number 2. So again, same position. What we want to do is we want to label the sides. So I'm at the 24, so there's my opposite. Hypotenuse, adjacent. Write down the rule. Sine x is opposite over hypotenuse. Fill in the information. The angle goes in here. So sine 24 degrees will equal x over 50. Getting the things in the right place. And then I'm going to take the 50 and I'm going to move it up there. So 50 sine 24 will equal x. Remember, if you're using your phone, we're going to have to do 24 sine times 50. 24 sine times 50. 20.33, so that'll be 20.3. And then the last one, same process. Start by labelling the sides. There's your opposite, there's your hypotenuse, there's your adjacent. Write down the rule. Fill in the information. The angle goes in here. X over 132. Move the 132 up here. To get there, and then we're going to type this in reverse on the phone calculator. 62 sine times 132. So 64 sine times 132. 118.6. Okay, now it's going to be your turn. So, there's question 1. Pause this, give it a go. Okay, let's see if you've got it right. So we start by labelling the sides. Opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. Write down the rule. Sine x is opposite over hypotenuse. Fill in the information. Remember that the angle goes there. Sine 40 equals x over 31. Move the 31 up here. 31 sine 40 equals x. On your phone, we need to do that backwards. It's going to be 40 sine times 31. It is much easier if you've got a scientific calculator, but we can do it on the phone, it's okay. 19.9, that would be in it. Okay, here's the second one. Hit pause, give it a go. Right, start by labelling the sides. Opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. Fill in the, write the rule. Sine x equals O over h. Fill in the information. The angle, remember, comes in here. So sine 70 equals opposite, which is x over 24. Move the 24 up there. 24 sine 70 is going to equal x. Use the phone in reverse. So it's going to be 70 sine times 24. 70 sine times 24 equals 22.55. So that 5 rounds that up 1. So it'll be 22.6 centimetres. Okay, number 3. Hit pause. Give it a go. Okay, again label the sides. Opposite, hypotenuse, adjacent. Write the rule. Sine x equals O over h. Fill in the information. The angle comes in here. Sine 52 equals the opposite side, which is x, over the hypotenuse, which is 83. Move the 83 up there to get the x by itself. Use your calculator in reverse, so it's going to be 52 sine times 83, and that comes in at 65.4. Okay, so to do this successfully, your success criteria, the steps that we're going to go through each time. Number 1, label the sides. We always start trig questions with labelling the sides, the opposite, the hypotenuse and the adjacent. 2, write the rule. 3, put the numbers in. So the numbers from the triangle go into the rule. 4, move the bottom number across. So in every one there we had to move this bottom number over to the other side. And finally 5, you need to be able to use your calculator successfully. If you follow those 5 steps, you'll get it right each time.